I'm actually really excited for this session. And firstly, like, just give me a second and I'll check if we are live on some platforms as well, because we were supposed to go live and I
Sure,
guess we already are. Just give me a second. Meanwhile, Shubham, if you can please
no
confirm if we are
problem.
live on YouTube.
Yep, sure. Mm.
Okay, so for those who have joined late, Diksha will quickly give
Mm.
you overview of what we are going to do today, and what is the objective of this call, and why we are actually gonna do this today. And yeah, so I'll just take one more minute. And Diksha, can you please start?
Sure, sure. I would definitely do that.
Piyush, we are
So,
live on
guys,
YouTube. Uh, so,
all right,
sorry.
Cool, good to go.
that's fine.
Good to go
All
then.
right, so guys, hi. The ones who recently joined, welcome. Right. So we are here to basically review resumes, a couple of them, and show throw some insights on what all things you can do, maybe in terms of making your resumes more relevant or more appropriate in terms of what the industry wants, right? When it comes to CVs, also, it's just a basic thing that I would like to share. Every department or every different sort of technologies, or maybe a division in a company, they all look forward to different things when it comes to a CV. A technical resume, I am hoping that all of you are from the tech background, right? Either game developers or developers, and might be somebody from the game artist or sort of profile. So basically, for tech candidates, we look forward to somebody who have mentioned all their skill sets in a very clear, crystal clear manner. Because what I've seen in the industry is, what our recruiters in today's world do is they just get a position, say for example a backend developer, and they'll just search from your CVs the basic keywords, right? If they're looking for a JavaScript developer, they'll be just looking for JavaScript. If you haven't mentioned it, a whole JavaScript, they might reject your CV in that case as well. So, would appreciate or would like, I mean, this is a basic thing that the tech people can do. Just make sure that you mention all the skill sets very clearly so that they are easily readable and easily searchable. Any
Cool.
questions that you might, yeah.
So,
So,
what I wanted to start the conversation with was, like, I have this very basic question for everyone in here, whoever
mhm.
is present here. And guys, we want the session to be really interactive. Whenever we organize events here at Outscale, we try to make those, uh, like, we try to curate them in a way that they become more of a two-way communication, not just one way. And this has to be another interactive event where you guys talk back to us and tell us what problems you have faced while building your own resumes, or maybe just share some other ideas that you have. So if you're not comfortable in unmuting, please head over to the event chat channel. I'll keep an eye there and we'll read your responses. So I have this first very basic, very fundamental question from everyone. Like, what do you think is the objective of resume? Like, what is the objective of your resume? Like, why do we need a resume? Like, what's the purpose that a resume solves? So that's the first question that I usually ask anyone, like, who's either trying to build a good resume, or trying to optimize, or sometimes, seek help from me, that hey, I just want to build a resume, just help me out. So the only question that I ask, the first question that I ask is, like, what is the objective? So I can see a bunch of folks are typing, and you guys can also unmute and answer here.
Get selected for the interview.
Yeah, Mridul, can you be a little louder?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, to get selected for the interview.
Okay, to get
Great.
selected for the interview. Okay.
To sell yourself,
A
right?
small
That
brief
is your
description
brochure.
of yourself and skill set. Resume objective to present our skills. Okay, I can see Gaurav is typing. Do you fit the job profile or can you work with the company wants you to? Got it. Okay, cool. So yeah, bunch of answers. Some were on the lines that I was expecting. So basically, when what I feel is the core purpose of a resume, and Diksha will, you know, tell if she agrees or not. So basically, 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, when I was job hunting, my mindset was that that a resume is something that will technically land you a job. And that's how I created my first resume. And after applying for like 100 jobs, I realized that fuck no, that is not the objective of a resume. It's not technically meant to land you a job. It's technically meant to land you an interview, like Mridul just mentioned. So a CV or a resume is never gonna land you a job. It's just gonna land you an interview, and that is the only purpose it can solve, because nobody's gonna look at your resume and say fuck, let's hire this guy, and let's hire this girl, that this is it, this is what we are looking for. Even if they get that spark out of just a single page document that you have shared, then probably you gotta prove that shit out, like in the interview, right? So technically, the core purpose of your resume is to just land you an interview and bypass the wait list of 500,000, 2,000 people who have applied for the same job. And in a country like ours, like India, where every job has, thousands of applicants, if your resume is not very well optimized, there's no chance in hell that you're gonna make it to the interview itself. Diksha, any other thoughts?
That's no, no, that's true. That's true. See, even if we get like hundreds of CVs, the only ones who have built their CVs well, right? One, their CVs are tidy. Second, they've mentioned their skills and everything very properly.
Yep.
Then their experience, what other stuff they've done, right? Their qualification, everything is well justified. That's where you land into an interview. Nobody gives you or offers you a job based on your CV. So that's exactly the right thing that, Piyush mentioned, that a good or a well built CV would only land you an interview. It's totally up to you, the skills that you carry would help you land into a job based on the interview performance. But definitely, just based on your CV, you'll not get a job.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree. So, like 5 years, like I guess 2 or 3 days ago, we circulated a form as well where we were asking, like, if you guys are interested to share your resume, I and Diksha will review them today. So let me just check. I guess I have bunch of them opened up here. I'll
Um,
just share my screen. Yep, I'll just share my screen so that you guys can uh, yep, see the resumes, and then we are gonna actually review it and share our thoughts. So again, like Diksha is like actually professional to share her thoughts on this. I am technically not a HR person, so but still I'll just generally share whatever I have learned in past 2 to 3 years while hunting for job and while helping a lot of other people around me, my friends, my colleagues who wanted to
Shubham wants to say
find a
something.
new job. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shubham, go ahead.
got a question. So, like you said, the purpose of or objective of resume is to
Hmm.
majorly get into the next round of interview,
Yep,
specifically filtering, right?
yep,
So nowadays AI is being used to filter out resumes as well.
yep.
So I would like to, understand like uh, Diksha's view in this context, like how AI is being used, plus how can we, optimize it for that AI as well.
See, I do understand that AI is the new thing, right? But I personally believe when it comes to reviewing a resume, it's more of a human touch that needs to be there, right? When it comes to AI, we just, mention or filter or share the skill sets that needs to be reviewed for a particular position. And that's where the AI thing helps. And they filter out if we get like 10 CVs, out of which only one, if they have like all the tick marks right? Then only that CV gets shortlisted when it comes to AI. But when it comes to a human thing, if I am personally reviewing a CV, maybe if five or six boxes are tick marked, I might ask the person to shift to a next level of interaction rather than just rejecting the CV that ways. So that's one big thing that I think AI may it is a thing that is an issue, but yeah, definitely that helps, or that saves the time of a recruiter in terms of filtering out the CV. It just helps you in terms of saving your time. But I personally believe once you talk to a person, you get to know more about their qualification, or maybe their justification to the role. Because I recently was hiring for a position for community and content marketing, though it's a non-tech position, but definitely I was looking for somebody who have exposure into both community building as well as content marketing. There were a lot of people who had just mentioned community building, right? And there were a lot of people who had just mentioned
Content.
content marketing.
Yep.
If we would have used AI in that terms, these CVs would definitely have got rejected, right? But reviewing their profiles, I would not just stick to their CVs. I would definitely look forward to reviewing their LinkedIn profiles as well, and see if anything matches, or things can move out with a particular candidate. I would definitely look forward to doing it that ways instead of just going with the AI thing. So that's my personal opinion. It definitely would be different for different people, but when it comes to my personal understanding and things that I've seen, out of 10, or if we have like 10 check boxes, AI would definitely help you with only shortlisting those profiles who tick mark all the 10 boxes in that case. So that's one big difference when it comes to manually checking out a particular CV, or getting it recruited, or passed out or filtered through the AI technique.
Again, to just add one point to what Diksha just said, like AI can actually be used to filter out few, but that will not finally and help you in finding the exact spot on relevant results. So back
Yeah.
again, while I was looking for job opportunities, I also tried to find some international jobs, right? So back then, I read it in some articles. I'm not sure if that there were tools with AI in it, but I definitely read multiple articles that mentioned if you're applying
Mhm.
for big companies, really big companies, they usually get thousands of applications on a single day. If they are hiring globally, so they filter out these resumes by just looking at the keywords, and there are some specific tools that they have that has this specific algorithm to figure out if this is the right person or not. So the hack that I found back then was that inside your resume you can add keywords and change the color to white. So let's say if the background is white, you can technically add 20 more keywords, and similarly just change the text color to white, so that if there's some person who is actually reviewing it, he or she'll not be able to read those keywords. But if you just want to bypass that AI, and if you just want to bypass that tech, right, so you'll be able to bypass that. See, humans will anyhow any day bypass those things. Maybe eventually that they ship some update and advance the algorithm, that if it is because that is usually being advanced in email marketing and stuff as well, because a bunch of people send out unsubscribe link with the background color, so that people don't actually unsubscribe their email newsletters. So yeah, like there are a bunch of shortcomings in that thing as well. So that's what I overall wanted to share, Shubham. Did we cover your question?
Yeah, to a lot of extent. So, majorly what I got through it, if I summarize, so there are like two types of hiring. One is scalable for really, really big companies. They need AI. They can't get away without it, because then the people needed to hire other people would like it would cost them a lot more,
Yep.
right, than an AI. And if you have, say, a startup to middle level, then a human touch is required. Apart from it, there are tips and tricks you can go ahead and apply for AI, right? Like the white texting one.
Yeah, yeah.
So that way, you can bypass that. So that was really, really interesting to know. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. Makes pure sense. So I have shared my screen, guys, already, and this session was supposed to be a 45-minute session, and we are already, past half time. So I have opened up like four resumes right now that are in front of me, four CVs. And okay, so one more question. So how many of you actually know the difference between a CV and a resume? So drop in your answer in even chat or unmute and say CV and resume.
Uh, if
And
I may,
yeah, yeah, sure,
yes,
sure.
like as I've learned from school and I've seen like resume is for like maximum 2 pages and CV is minimum 2 pages and extends to like 8 pages. Like it is a
That's
detailed version.
yeah. Anybody else who would like to, answer the same question? Thanks, Vimarsh, for the answer. But anybody else who would like to say so that, once this is done, I or maybe Piyush can, just let you guys know, okay, what exactly is the difference.
So Aditya just mentioned, is CV the bigger version of resume? That is more like a question. I said CV and my Siri is activating. I don't know why. Resume in one page and CV is detailed version of resume. Okay. Okay. Resume is one page. CV is detailed version of resume. Deeksha, do you want to go ahead with the answer?
Sure, sure. So CV and resumes are basically, resume basically is a summary of what you've done so far, right? It's basically a one or two pager stuff that we, share across with the companies. When we talk about a CV, that is curriculum vitae, it's basically a detailed summary of what you've done. What all of you guys have mentioned, that's exactly the same. It's just a resume. We can, shorten it to 1 to 2 pages. But when it comes to a CV, yeah, definitely at least 2 to 3 pages is what the length of a CV goes to be.
Yep. Totally. Okay. So I guess no more questions. We'll dive into the review part now. So please check, guys. Please confirm if you guys can see my screen.
That's visible. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So around five people shared their resumes, and we are gonna review them one by one. And I'll start with this one first. So okay, yeah, here. So, the first thing that I have heard from a lot of people, from people who have 10 to 15 years of industry experiences as well, and I've looked at their resumes. There's only one thing that I, have realized, that if you are building a resume, and in India, I guess majority of people uh, usually build resume. It's not more of a CV versus resume thing in India. You usually get just one chance to share your resume before you apply, and that's what is gonna score you an interview. So when it comes to resume, I feel that it should be highly uh, optimized into a single page. So it cannot be a three-page thing like we see here. It should not be a three-page thing at all. And one of the, like, unless you are someone who's 15 years, 20 years experienced, and you actually need 2 pages or 3 pages to list down all the achievements that you have done so far, or all the learnings that you have. Over to you, Diksha.
Yeah. See, I tell you what my basic understanding or how I or maybe recruiters would like to, undergo or look at a CV. One, the size, when it comes to the text, it should be an overall, same text font that you should use, right?
Hmm.
When it comes to the size, basically, it should be readable, right? If I look at this particular CV, though you've mentioned or you've, put up the, I mean, the person have shared the logos of the companies, right? If the company, if I see, when it comes to something written right below experience, game developer, the font is a bit more, the size is bigger as compared to junior Unity developer. So
Yeah,
that one thing, the consistency needs to be there,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And even if I check the pointers they've mentioned, it does not seem to be a actual pointer, right? It seems to be a rough doc that one has made, wherein things are not elaborated in a manner that they should have been, right? So they've written, during my 2 months of internship, I've learned and enhanced my skill.
yeah.
Then there's a gap, and there are no bullet points, right? Or
Hmm.
maybe, I mean, definitely we use bullet points and not numbers, right? So
Hmm.
as a game developer, what they've done, nothing is mentioned. As a junior Unity developer, things that I've mentioned could have been, mentioned in a better manner, maybe with some bullets. Then again, when it comes to their summer internship or working as a game tester, uh, I personally would not like to see certain CVs like these, to be very honest, because the consistency is not there. One, that's the biggest thing. That's a big turn off or a big no when it comes to looking at a CV.
So this more or less feels like a complete download of a LinkedIn profile because
Yeah, yeah,
I strongly feel that this is a download of a LinkedIn profile because the same
yeah.
pattern, logos and everything is mentioned here, and then
Right.
licenses and
Mm-hmm.
certificate.
Like
Probably then
certificates.
there's a lot of problem that comes in from there. But if
Yeah,
like if I review it as a resume, so like Deeksha mentioned, one thing is formatting. So here game developers is like bold and big, and then here it's not the same font. At least when you're giving job titles across the board, they like it has to be consistent and same, right? And now if you look here, the name of the company is bigger than this one. So the font size is small here, it's big, and it looks bigger because it's bold, but it's like I guess at least two fonts lower. But
yeah,
in this case, like it's not the same. यहाँ पर like the game developer is bigger and then the company name is very small, and then this is the position that
yeah,
you have. So that is one thing that is differentiating. Plus, now if I go down, by the way, one thing to acknowledge here is the summary thing. I actually like if someone, wraps up a three-liner summary or a two-liner, 2 to 3 liner summary in the top that exclusively describes your skill set. So, seeking a beginner role to enhance, explore, okay. So this summary is not actually gonna work because
yeah,
because technically resume is not meant to be customized, right? It's the cover letter that goes customized. So maybe you can customize your resume to do, like you can actually create two different resumes to apply for two different job roles. But then this is not something that has to be customized. So every word that you write inside a resume, think of it like that more or less gives a generic understanding to the person who's reading. So if you are someone, like if you are a game developer, you should technically instead of writing like seeking a beginner role to enhance, like instead of telling them what you are trying to seek, actually use these two lines to write down your skill set that you technically possess, because this is a real estate that will capture a lot of eyeballs, and in 70 to 80% of times uh, the person who is seeing your resume is not gonna go down than this. Maybe they just read it till here and that's it, right? So yeah, uh, Diksha, you were saying something.
No, no, I'd actually covered up. It's like, definitely when it comes to your summary, it needs to be more focused on the job role that you're looking at, not more of, that you're joining or you're seeking a role as a beginner, right?
Hmm.
Um, if you say you're a beginner, and if I look at your profile, that both the things does not match really. The person already worked, even though for 2 months, but worked as a junior Unity developer, pursuing their game developer position, or their program without scale. right? So they already have certain sort of experience, right? Mentioning like beginning the role to enhance and explore. So no company is sitting to train you. That's something you need to understand. Though they say that they'll, offer you training,
Hmm.
but one should not tell them ki theek hai, I'll be joining your company to get trained, right? That something should never be mentioned. So just make sure that you keep these two lines great enough and attractive enough that one would like to go through your CV in more detail. So just make sure that you have some certain specific or crisp things to be mentioned there in your profile summary.
Yep. And then coming back again to the same point that this is firstly the only thing that is pinching on my eyes and pricking my head is that this is 3 pager thing, and it shouldn't be 3 pages thing, because technically this wasn't required here. So the license and certification part, this has this like shouldn't be, this shouldn't be belonging here. So maybe simply what you can do is like you have done it here, like there's a complete link to your LinkedIn profile which looks good, or ideally instead of putting a link, it can be the logo itself which is hyperlinked, and there's a simple CTA that says click to check my LinkedIn profile, click to check my GitHub profile, click to check my website, which you have created here. So that could be one thing, because if someone is going to your link, if like someone is interested in this part, they can probably go and check it out on LinkedIn. So in other words, I would say that projects is the thing that you should have given more weightage to, and you could have placed it a little up, because then that uh, technically above education in this thing, because if you are not from tier 1 colleges like IIT or IIMs, technically no one is gonna read this thing, at least in India. Like, Diksha, when was the last time you had someone by looking at their college or their
I
bachelor's
don't look
degree?
at it to be honest. It actually is beneficial when you're applying for companies who basically look forward to tier one, tier two colleges only, right?
Hmm.
I remember one thing. One of my previous companies used to hire for Maruti Suzuki, right?
Hmm.
For them, they used to have a 2-3 pager long thing, a checkbox checklist that needed to be, checked. So they
Hmm.
used to hire for from certain specific colleges, right?
Hmm.
Then they wanted people who had a, 60 or 70 percentage ka cut out throughout their academics. So there are certain companies who definitely look at the college thing, like somebody from IITs or IIMs, right?
Hmm.
Or tier one, tier two colleges, as you said.
Hmm.
But not every company looks into it, right? So that's basically my thing. I don't generally look into it until and unless I'm asked to, right? It totally depends on what the organization requires. But not every company aaj ke time pe is looking forward to people from these tier 1 tier 2 colleges. I recently saw a video as well that mentioned a couple of companies who are hiring people even without degrees, and one of the companies out of which was Google. So there were
Oh,
companies like Google, Microsoft who were not hiring people who have certain college degrees. So
yeah, yeah.
even undergrads or people who do not have college degrees are open to apply there. It's just the skill set should match their
So
requirements.
Google has, just FYI, Google has officially like publicly announced that they have stopped hiring on the
Yeah,
basis of college degrees, tier one like even if you don't have a
right,
computer science degree, but you possess the right skills to break into the company, break into Google as a as an engineer, computer science engineer, you'll probably get a job there. So
right.
they'll not seek a degree from IIT, right? So that is a thing of a past right now. So that's why I tell everyone that ठीक है, like education can be there inside your resume, keep it there, but like give it a corner seat, like this doesn't need to be highlighted. And unless again I
Right.
quote, you are from
Exactly.
quote
Mhm.
unquote IITs and IIMs. So if that's not the case, like just let it be there, just give it a backseat, that if technically someone is intentionally looking for your educational qualifications, so they they find it that it's there, yeah, likha hai, kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one. And now we'll shift to another, the second resume. So, Ravi Kiran Bhattraju, okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're audible, Mike. Hi.
So I think I just wanted to add one thing on this resume. Like the standard sort of golden rule is like, unless you're freaking Bill Gates, you don't need a multi-page resume, and
Okay.
Yeah.
nobody is Bill Gates. So not here at least. So essentially, you don't need a multi-page resume. Your resume should be one page, end of story. Right? There's ample debate about this,
Period.
but the longer your resume is, the lesser the chance that somebody on the other side is going to spend time looking at all the information, and more the chance that you're going to add in a lot of crap that is not really needed. So you have to really think about that. If the other person is only going to spend about 10 to 15 seconds on my resume, I want to be really brutal about the things I want to highlight, right? So like even when you guys were talking about the summary, right? The summary, if you don't have space for it, remove it. But if you have space and you want to add it, like I think Deeksha also mentioned, right? Like highlight, or Piyush mentioned, I forgot who, but highlight like the core skill set, right? I have 2 years of game development experience in Unity and C Sharp, rather than saying I'm looking for opportunity. Of course, you're looking for
Mm.
opportunities if you're giving somebody your resume, right? Otherwise, it's not a fucking wedding invitation, right? Like you're not handed out to invite somebody over for tea. So, question every full stop, every word in your resume, that it should serve a purpose of educating the other person about something that you want them to know about, right? So that's how you want to think about every little detail on your resume, right? If you have a URL for LinkedIn, don't have a URL. Instead, turn it into a hyperlink, right? So have the word LinkedIn highlighted in blue with the underline. Everybody knows in globally, anybody who has done something on the internet knows that it's a link, right?
Mm.
So you need to use those obvious things to reduce the amount of space that is throw in, and just be very brutal about every word that goes in, right? If you think that this word doesn't add value, remove it. If this sentence doesn't add value, remove it, right? One thing I'll add is when it comes to sort of work experience, I think just go back to the previous one, Piyush, that you were showing, or Diksha who was screen sharing.
Yeah,
Uh,
please.
yeah, so I think whenever you have like work experience, right, this is a classical mistake that I've seen people do. They try to fill it up with like large paragraphs. A company is not hiring your previous company. So if you were working with Flash Clash 11 or Fan Clash 11, whichever it is, right? They don't care what the previous company did. They care about what you did, right? So first you need to understand that you need to highlight your contribution and your value addition to that team slash that company slash that product that you are working on, and not really focus on what really the company did. A lot of the people, and this is an interview mistake as well, people start talking about, oh, my company used to do this, but I'm not really here to hire your previous company. I'm here to hire you, right? So tell me what did you did, and talk about those elements. So here, if you can see, identifying and fixing code errors and game bottlenecks, that's important and valuable, right? But then the one below, worked on a project, credit card fraud detection. Like, did you build the entire project? Was there a 20 people team working on that project with you? Were you doing UI? Were you doing backend? Were you doing something else? Not really clear, right? So be very clear about what do you want the other person to know, so that if this comes up in your interview, you're able to really impress them, right? Like that's the focus, right? That you're able to first communicate a story to them, ki, okay, these are the things that I did. And then if they ask you, like if I was interviewing this person, I would ask them, okay, what did you do in this credit fraud detection, right? This can be an AI project, it can be a app, it could be a website, it could be a database, it could be a crap ton of different things, right? But just doesn't tell me what did this person work on as part of this 2 month thing, right? So just focus on what is the story that I want to communicate, and how is this thing that I'm about to write, even if it's like one line, half a line, how does that tell the reviewer something important about me that I want them to know, right? So that's the kind of lens you want to look through for every statement,
मैं बोलूं
right? And that will go from top to bottom. Yep.
उससे
But again, one thing I'll again iterate: Bill Gates, 3 pages, okay. No Bill Gates, 1 page, right? So that's a simple rule. It will simplify your life forever. But yeah, okay. Back to you guys.
So, in other words, guys, in any scenario, it shouldn't be 3 page because if you are Bill Gates, you'll not need a CV. So,
Exactly. I was about to say that.
no scenario you need
Yeah,
a
Shubham.
yeah, Shubham.
Okay, cool. So just wanted to add a few more things. So Mayank taught one very interesting thing to us. Like he was talking about an anecdote wherein he, made like 100 resumes for 100 different companies. So he was targeting a specific company. He was understanding what the company and the role needs. He was actually going and tailoring to it, right? So that is, one very good insight into it, right? That Mayank gave us
Wait,
while we
was that
were at outs.
100 resumes or was that 100 cover letters?
So I think it was resumes. I think
No, it should be
I
cover
don't
letters.
exactly remember the word.
It
Yep,
should
I
be
don't
cover letters.
exactly remember the word, right?
It's
But
a
you are
mix.
getting what I'm saying.
It's a mix of both. So what Shubham is referring to, you can actually customize your resume as well. For example, um, if you know that the company works on a certain technologies, let's say C++ versus Unity, right? C sharp. So if some company uses C sharp and Unity, you want to highlight your projects which are Unity focused and showcase your awesome skill sets in Unity and C sharp, right? But if you are planning to say Rockstar or Sumo Digital and you have C++ project on your resume, most of your projects will be on GitHub, right? And if you have like 8, 10 different projects, not all will fit into your one-page resume. Maybe two or three, maximum four, right? Worst case four, I would say. So in that case, you decide which ones you want to show, because then you want to have a the other person feel like, oh, this person has the perfect skill set that we need, right? So if the company is using Unreal and you're showing them Unity, you will be kind of in their priority 2, priority 3. You will not be in their priority 0, right? Something that they would jump on a Sunday to give you a call, right? So that's how you want to think about it. I think good point, Jubam.
One more point is that look into the people who are already into that company and take their resume, and you know the rest, right? Just copy paste the things that you feel are outmost important. So
But
yep.
where will you get the resumes from?
LinkedIn, easy. More many
Not
people
everybody
have it
posts
in
it, right? Yeah. Yeah.
many have it there. So yeah.
Sorry.
Got it. Uh,
Okay.
so are we Piyush? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I saw this one thing in this resume that I wanted to, clearly highlight. Like first, there's this empty page. Delete this, please. And then second thing is this declaration. I hate this fucking thing. Please, you don't need a declaration inside your resume. Never, never use such things because what you are writing here.
We believe you. We do believe you that
We
it
firmly
is
have a
actually true,
like
and
we
rest definitely, gets cleared out once you are there in the interview process. So I am totally with you in this view is that there's no requirement of putting up a declaration. Definitely, when it comes to CVs that were there like 2, 3 years, 4 years down the line, declaration was a thing that people used while preparing their CVs. But yeah, today's world we definitely don't need it. So if any one of you, I'm not sure if Ravi is there with us on the call or not, but yeah. So guys, if in case any one of you have this declaration part written in your CVs that's actually not required, you can definitely go ahead and remove that without giving it a second thought.
yeah.
So yeah.
So one more thing.
I'm there. I'm there,
The
Deeksha. So thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
I
remove
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to blur out the names, but in screen share that wasn't possible, or I had to edit the CVs. So sorry for that. But one more thing, like uh, like Mayank said, right, that every word that you add in here should be a value add. So I don't know how representing a college in, like, tech chats, workshops, cultural and sport event will help you land a job as a game developer in electronic arts, right? So this is not gonna help you at all, right? So one thing is that this is heavy text. There's too much text in the whole resume here. The whole thing, like Mayank said, like compose it and optimize it into single page. And if you are able to do that, 90% of the things added here will be removed, right? So again, how you did your 10th, when you did your 12th, will not add a lot of value. If you are someone who go into the fifth round of a company's interview process, they are technically, like, once you are done and you through that interview round, they'll ask you for your 10th plus two certificates and all later on. But this is not something that you'll have to add here. Like, it's not adding any value. Again, take this
See,
and
I'll tell you one thing, Piyush, sorry for cutting. So I can see that Ravi, you already have over 2 years of experience, right?
yeah.
In that case, highlighting a lot about your qualifications, especially when it comes to your 10th or 12th, would not give a lot of value to your CV, right? Though, if you were a fresher, right, somebody who is recently starting their journey, there definitely you could have elaborated. Yeah, this year you've done your 10th, these were the results, or this year you did your 12th, these were the results. That could have been a thing, Uh, that might have been important there for you. But yeah, if you carry almost 3 years of experience, you don't need to highlight a lot about your education qualification. Ki, yeah, these were the percentages, or a lot about it. Maybe a line each. Ki, हाँ, ठीक है, this year you completed your BTech from this college. This year you did your 10th, and this year you did your 12th. That would have been sufficient, like a single liner for those, right? So that ways, again, you would get a lot of space there in your CV that can be used either to add on more of your experience, or just keep your make your CV look more cleaner in that terms. So that is one suggestion I would like to give you for this.
Yep. And I like the this part here. Like, obviously, what you
Yeah.
have written here can be optimized into two lines, or even a single line, maybe two lines, not more than that. So, just
Yeah.
cutting down one more space from here, and then like, you've added the whole link to your LinkedIn profile here. That wasn't needed. If simply added a logo of LinkedIn here, a logo of GitHub here, one logo of maybe email here, and then logo of WhatsApp that links back to your WhatsApp. So that is a kind of a CTA that you're giving to anyone who's interviewing. So let's say if Ravi, to the interviewer, sorry. So let's say if Deeksha is highly interested in your resume and she wants to take the call further. It's like one click away for her to write your mail. It's one click away for her to directly ping you on WhatsApp. And now you are just opening up the doors, you're just opening up your reachability. You're becoming more and more reachable. Not sure if they're going to dial you directly, but maybe even this thing can be converted into a call to action button. So where you click and that directly opens up dialer in your phone. So something like that. So like, you guys are tech people, right? And it's basically very simple things and very fundamental, small changes that will add a lot of value to your resume. So small changes that will bring in big value inside it, right? So then, coming to this, they're like just 3 points here, but then it is covering like a full section. So maybe
Yeah.
one way to optimize it could have been, if you remove the programming languages wala part, C beginner, C++ intermediate, and C sharp intermediate. It is self-explanatory that these are coding languages, not musical notes, right? It's not a C sharp musical note on guitar. So technically, you don't need to
No, but
mention programming
fair.
language.
No. I'll tell you. I would like to hear. I'm sorry, I'm breaking you off here, but When it comes to writing your skills, definitely he mentioned that he's a beginner when it comes to C. So he does not have a lot of knowledge, right? Which clearly helps the recruiter to understand ki, theek hai, if this person would go well for a particular role that they have, right?
Yep.
Say, for example, they're looking for a C sharp developer. They don't want somebody with, a lot of experience or a lot of knowledge in C language, right? Maybe they're looking for somebody with C++ and C sharp, wherein C language is not that very much, mandatory or very well required, right? The basics, if the person knows, that works for them, this CV would definitely get shortlisted
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that case. So when it comes to skills, yeah, maybe you can write it down in a different way. That's what you can do, right? But yeah, don't remove your skill sets.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is that remove writing programming languages, not the beginner and intermediate part. That is something that you're explaining the level of
Okay.
your skill, right?
That's,
But I
I
said that
get it.
this,
Yeah.
see, guys, I basically
So
when
he
I,
basically differentiated, right,
ha,
that these are
ha,
the programming languages that he
ha.
knows. These are the gaming engines that he
So
knows, right?
that wasn't
And the
needed. That
version
wasn't
controllers
needed.
as
Okay, Deeksha, come on. That wasn't needed. So if I am
well.
a tech guy or if you are an HR, you probably don't need like programming languages written in front of it. So see, I'll tell you why. Because like Mayank said that every word that you add here should be given some value. And when I
Mhm.
look at resumes, I have done a lot of copywriting in past 2 to 3 years, and the one skill that I have excelled in was to optimize writing, right? If this thing is written in 3 lines, how can I convert this 3 lines into 1 or 2 lines and make it like impactful, make it either more impactful or keep the impact ratio same. So what impact it's leaving right now, it should still leave the same impact, but now you have optimized the level of words that you have used, right? So that's why I said that you don't need programming languages written here. Another reason, I'll tell you why. Because if this thing wasn't listed here, this thing wasn't listed here, so what you could have done is that you could have horizontally listed your 3 skills, and
Yeah.
that could have been covered in single line, right? So in one line you could have listed your languages plus the game engines that you have been using, and this could have come in 2 lines, still leaving you space to add 3 more skills, right? So
Mhm.
that's how you optimize your resume. So that was one thing. Um, anything else, Diksha?
Mm, not really. I mean, again, a couple of things that we've already told you, Ravi. Just remove the declaration part and make the things more, uh, as Piyush said. Just make sure that we are not using a lot of space. Just make it well optimized so that it comes down to at least, if not two, it's already there, right? So if you can just bring that down to one page or maximum one and a quarter, that should be good to go, right? There's a lot of spacing that we've taken, that we've taken, right? If that gets removed, it'll be a good to go CV from my end. I mean, I would definitely, if I have a position, I would like to take it ahead in that way.
Hmm. Yeah. And then the interest part is also something that can be removed from here, because I like personally I don't feel it's adding a lot of
We
value.
don't take it. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the yeah,
Again, for a fresher CV, definitely people can add on their interest. Yeah, they are interested maybe in surfing the internet, watching stuff or whatever. But
see,
when it comes to an
surfing.
experienced
Sorry, sorry,
candidate, I
sorry
would
to
not.
interrupt, but surfing internet as an hobby was something that 80s people could have done, but now
Yes, yes.
it's not a hobby. Like if you're not doing that,
Yeah,
you're not gonna do like make it to the
yeah,
industry.
yeah.
So
Right.
what more? Like one of the founders of Future Wing Foundation Group mainly functions for basic needs of poor children. Okay. Um, mm, yeah. Okay. Maybe it can be there to just highlight the other part, the other side of you as a human. But I'm not sure how much uh, value will a interviewer in India find for this? If you were applying in US, maybe I'm not sure if it'll add value there, but there are some companies who give value to the CSR activities or um, other kind of social activities that you have done. So in that case, maybe this one highlights your skill. And if being the founder was your close something that you wanted to highlight, then this should have on the top instead of just adding it there as one more achievement or one more accomplishment. Anything else, Diksha, or should we move to the next one?
No, that's all done from my end.
Okay. Take it. Moving to the next one. Okay. So Vimarsh, do it again. One thing shouldn't be on top. Just like take it and put it in the corner seat. Like if didn't exist, then it would have been a concern maybe in round two or round three. But just take it away from here. Okay. This shouldn't occupies the top space of your because right now I've opened it up and this is what will attract my attention, and this is what's gonna, like you said, first impression. So whatever you are sharing here, this is the first impression that we're getting out of it. Diksha?
Yeah, right, right. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, you
I'm
are audible.
Yeah, yeah,
All
this is
right. I'm sorry. I guess there's some issue with my internet, but yeah.
okay. Hmm. Mm,
I would like to point out one thing in this CV
hmm.
that was something which is relevant, but the other two CVs did not have it, right? So this guy mentioned his, Vimarsh has mentioned his location that the other two CVs does not have, right? Since people have started working from office, a lot of companies have started opening up. This definitely adds to be a point that companies or the recruiters look at. कि अच्छा ठीक है, this guy is from Noida and yeah, we do have a position in NCR, so he would be more keen to work for this for our particular role. So that one thing, because a lot of companies have started working from office, so this is something that everybody should add in their CVs.
Yep. So one thing I liked was that there are two contact numbers that are mentioned here. One is for, I guess, calling, and the other one is that
Yeah,
highlights it's for WhatsApp, right? So Vimarsh, another easy suggestion would be like your email is here clickable. Your WhatsApp number can be actually clickable, where you click and it directly opens up WhatsApp, either on web or on the phone itself,
application.
application itself. So that is something that you can work on to make it, the more accessible and the more easy you make it for the interviewer, your chances of getting to the next round is gonna get higher. So make it more easy for someone. I like that the picture is added here, it was added here as well, but it wasn't here. So try to add your photo as well, because it gives a identity to the empty doc then, because here we don't know how Kartikeya looks. Maybe it is not needed, but if you add your photo, it technically just gives the resume a face, and recalling faces is easier than nothing. So for me, if I have seen this face with the resume, and if I like something about this resume, maybe 2 weeks later, if company is hiring again, uh, this thing will will be easy to recall than this. Okay. Anything
Hmm.
else, Diksha? A few more points that you have here. I am just trying to
One from my
recall.
side. So
Huh.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah, please.
skills that he has added, so back the skills on your project. So maybe mention maybe Unity 3D, the projects you have done under it, C Sharp, and the projects. Just add in the name of the projects that are clickable links to GitHub.
Oh
So
yeah.
that goes a long way,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Then
Right. True,
you're
true,
not
true.
not just talking in the air, right?
Totally agreed.
You're like you have something to prove. You are skilled.
Yeah, so like you have added the profile to your like your GitHub profile here, but instead this could have gone here itself, right? So you add all your contact information in one place. This is like a different section, right? So one thing I like about it is that you have used the empty space in the top for this thing, like instead of the same thing has happened here, but then yeah. So using this as the empty space for your contact info is a good idea, because then you are not blocking more space in here. And in this format of your resume, like there's a lot of white space here, like left from this margin here, it's almost you have wasted a lot of paper here. So this real estate shouldn't have been wasted. And you'll have to think how you can optimize, because it looks like it's been deliberately converted into a two-page thing, and this could have been optimized into one. And if you don't have a lot of experience, like if you are a fresher, you should have some empty space inside single page as well. So this shouldn't be a two-page thing at all, at any cost, whatever you do.
Can you scroll it down towards the end, please?
Yeah.
Mm, okay, awesome. Cool. So towards the end, the most important thing you just put it there like additional information. If you have your game on Play Store, that shows that you are a person who can actually build a game and go through with the whole process, whole cycle of uploading it as well. Are you getting it? And you have put it in the corner, right? That is your USP, and you are
Yeah.
not using it well,
Right.
right? So the way you could have done it is first is the profile, then going ahead in the profile you might be describing based on your projects and your experiences why you are valuable. Then going ahead the projects, the skills, then then this detail of you having this game. So make it the highlight of your resume. Then towards the end, like if I view it from a technical point of view, I'm saying, and then you can put in your education and everything, so that people know that this guy is skilled. If you hire it, you can work from day one, and those are the people we want in most of the companies.
Right.
So that is my take on this.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, Vimash, having a game published on Play Store is something that not a lot of people have. Like maybe a lot of people do have, but if there's something that it's clickable and I can see it right away, that would surely take you a step ahead of 50 other resumes that who didn't have a game published or available on Play Store. So this thing could have ranked higher in your resume, not just something additional or just like a PSS thing. कि PPS या PSS थी, just FYI, this is something I have done. So this could have taken a place. Yeah, I can see it's listed here in the projects as well. And if it was done here, then it wasn't needed here. So it's like repeating the same thing again. So one of two. Uh,
And Piyush, if you kind of remember Fleming Johnson, right? He also leveraged this fact, and that is why he was able to, get a good package eventually.
oh, in MPL, right?
Yes,
He
yes.
got placed in MPL. That I remember. So we have received one more resume here. Okay, sure.
Thanks for the insights, guys.
I hope this will work out for you, Vimarsh. All the very best.
Okay, so
Yeah, it
technically,
will have it.
what we discussed
Without
here.
skill, it will.
Yeah, Vimash. Thank you so much, for joining, and thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for sharing your resume, because like the resumes that you guys have shared here, like it will not only help you guys but also help others, to those who haven't shared their resumes. I am 100% sure that they might have had made some mistakes. So coming to the next resume, which is very well optimized, single page thing, like we were just discussing right now. So now it's
कुछ कह रहे थे तुम?
sorry, Ridul, I guess you're not on mute. Okay, I'll just mute him.
Sorry. It was a fan. I didn't see it. I haven't.
Okay, please stay on mute if. Okay, cool. Deeksha, uh, I guess it's already 6:08, and this is the last thing that we are
Yeah,
reviewing today. And
right, right.
let's see if we have some suggestions here, because this actually looks very much optimized.
This looks good. This looks good, to be very honest. Yeah, he mentioned his LinkedIn profile link and, contact details, current location, everything is there, right? Plus, you mentioned that, the exposure that he has, his current company. And then, yeah, I forgot to, let you guys know the basic thing, right? Once we start working on our resume, just start with the current organization and then go ahead with the previous ones.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you follow that funda so that it's there, and that's how even the CVs are reviewed, because we always look at the current employment or the current experience that you guys have, and then we move ahead, because to be honest, that's not very well required. But the current company you're working with requires a lot of attention of a recruiter, and that's where we look ahead and see through the other stuff in your profile.
Yep. One thing I like is that this is updated as okay. There's some
Yeah.
background noise. Just give me a second.
If you look carefully, he's a UI UX designer, and that
Yeah.
reflects in his resume.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
Right.
using
Yeah.
that knowledge here.
Right. So yeah, totally
Right.
agreed. Um, so one thing I'll have to add here, like few things that we have already mentioned, that these things can become clickable, and again, this full part could have been squished a little more if you just simply add logos. See, if you simply add a big logo of LinkedIn, I am not gonna assume that you're gonna take me to the homepage of LinkedIn. You'll directly take me to your profile itself. So that is something that everyone should try doing it. And one more thing, if you put in a bit.ly link inside your LinkedIn resume, it will also help you track the number of clicks that has been done on your resume in past few days. So let's say if you are, if you are in a job hunt sprint and you have applied at 100 places already, have just got uh, 5 clicks or 10 clicks on your resume, so you technically know that your resume is not being seen, or if it is being seen, you'll see the number of clicks go up. So if you are on a
Yeah.
sprint of 1 month where you applied for, let's say, 300 jobs in the span of 2 weeks, so you know that on what day the more number of clicks were there. So you like that data will actually help you to understand what kind of companies are actually reviewing your resume and even showing interest, because the number of clicks that you'll get there will show the actual engagement rate inside your resume, that what number of people are actually engaging with your resume. So that is something that is gonna help you a lot. So okay, so that was one. And then I'm just trying to look for some other things, if I can come up with something here. Uh, Again, right? So, seeing the work experience, like that, the first thing that catches your eyes, and then the second thing that is catching my eyes is the skill set here, because you have a graphical button-like representation here, which will technically, give you a quick glance and a quick walkthrough of what technologies and what skills this guy particularly knows. So it's very well curated. And then, like I said, the education can be there, so but it still has a backseat. Like this is the probably the last thing. The last thing is basically this interest that someone will notice. So it's fine. It's fine in here. But yeah, I like the way it's optimized. Uh, like since you have bunch of empty space here, right? You could have added few more things in here, like and like what more hands-on things have you done in this company? Like responsible for developing games makes sense because you are a game developer. What kind of games? What exactly was your part in that? Maybe that could have been two or three more bullet points in here. And because if I say that I am a UI UX developer and write that I developed UI UX for 3 websites, that is like obvious and will not make sense. So there could have been a little more details in here, that gives a um, clear understanding of what you have done. Diksha, something, few more points.
Mm, No, I really like the CV. I genuinely like, very clear and sorted CVs. To be honest, definitely, the space that is left maybe is, keeping it safe for the next organization he's planning to join. But yeah, definitely that can be utilized too.
No, yeah, yeah, true. Totally agreed. Like it's very clean and neat. So, guys, yeah, just if you guys want, I can share the link of Nilesh's CV, and you guys can give it a glance.
And also, if Nilesh is comfortable sharing CV with
Haha,
others, so
both,
definitely we can.
both.
Yeah.
So, I guess yeah, that is it. Unless you guys have few more questions, we'll keep next 3 to 4 minutes for Q&As. If you guys have any questions, I can see few people are typing here. So please, guys, feel free to ask more questions if you have any. We'll cap the call ASAP then, because it's already 6:15 and this was supposed to end like 30 minutes ago. So we are overshot by 30 minutes, and I'll stop the screen share. Um, cool, Nilesh.
Hello.
Yep, Karthikeyan.
Can be recorded.
Sorry.
I mean, can I look after the session again? Will the session be recorded elsewhere, like our general classes, mentor
Yes,
sessions,
yes.
all?
The session is being recorded and it's also live on YouTube. So, post the session, you can simply go to our YouTube channel. I'll drop the link in the event chat, and you can look at the whole video again. So, yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Custom cover letters. Yes. So, this is another question that
This was something Piyush was waiting for.
oh yeah, I was waiting for. Okay, so I have a long story for this. Again, so like back when I was hunting for jobs, at that time only, I didn't know that something like cover letter exists. Okay, so I simply applied for jobs and with my resume, and that was it. But 50, 60, 100 to 150 jobs, after applying for these many jobs down the lane, I realized that there are a bunch of companies that ask you for cover letters like as an optional thing, that if you want to add it, just add it, or otherwise just leave it. Okay, but the amount of value that cover letters will add, you will not, it's like unbelievable. So because cover letter is the only thing uh, where you can highlight that how relevant you are for that particular job. Okay, so for example, if there's a scenario where someone is looking for a game developer and they want you to build just platformer games, right, versus a company where they are looking you, like they want you to build FPS games, right? So now we have two genres. You have one resume, like you cannot, if you apply for 50 places, you cannot make 50 resumes. But how can you improve and increase your chances of uh, going through the going through the interview process going to the interview process? It's like by simply adding a highly customized cover letter where you are addressing to the HR of the company, because um, or someone who has shared that job on LinkedIn or anywhere else, right? So when you have streamlined it and you are point blank, addressing it to someone who's currently in the company, right? So that is the first level of customization. Second is, you can highlight why you are really really relevant for that platformer, like to join their team that is exclusively working on platformer games, right? So in that cover letter, that has to be like of more than not more than 2 to 3 paragraphs. You can strictly highlight your past experiences of building platformer games, the problems that you have faced, how you have find solutions to that. Because if you actually understand the the problems that people usually face while building platformer games, cover letter is the place to highlight that. Because if you're able to highlight that in your cover letter, the person who's reading it will that will be the one thing that will attract him or her. Like it's like shooting directly in the heart. So like that thing is gonna take you like 10 steps ahead and like cross all the wait lists. Because then personally like at least I'll feel that this person will have to actually review this. So that's how big importance cover letters play. Um, Anything else, Diksha?
No, you've covered basically a lot, but yeah, that's basically it from our end.
Yeah. So when the call started, I said that Diksha, I'll speak less, you speak more. But
Yes, yes.
that
But I
was
know your excitement for, cover letter. We were just discussing before the call, and I was like, Acha, Piyush, we'll discuss about the cover letters and its importance and all. So he was like very excited. I'll cover that. I want to talk about cover letters. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Yeah, actually, so not really relevant for people here because all of you are tech guys. So I'll just share my experience. Maybe somehow you relate it. When I was applying, I was looking for like two different job roles. One was marketing, and second was event manager. Because I had this like I was really passionate about doing offline events and all. Shubham knows the story. So the problem was that like these two are completely very different roles, right? So the best I could do was that build two good resumes for two job roles. And when I started hunting for jobs, I started sharing like for event specific. I applied with that with that resume that was for the event manager wala role, and for marketing I applied with that role, that resume. But then I realized that I'll only be able to score an interview when I write really optimized resumes. Because even if you say event manager, the role is so broad that you have to manage anything from weddings to live concerts. And wedding planning versus organizing live concerts is like two different skill sets altogether. So this is where uh, cover letters helped me a lot. Because when I was applying for a position as an event manager in a wedding planning company, I was actually writing down like how I can add value and what experiences I had in organizing family festivals, stuff like that. And if it was for some company that organizes concerts and all, then it was more about how I know how to handle thousands of people, like tens of thousands of people, how I know to manage celebrities, right? How I know to handle backend security for celebrities. So, like, you don't handle celebrities in wedding, right? And you don't manage 20,000 people in a wedding. But that is something really relevant for someone if he's hiring for event manager for a concert company. So I am 100% sure that same thing applies for game developers as well. And cover letter is something that you can leverage, where you can be very specific. And one simple hack is just fucking copy at least 5 points from the job description. That's it. So whatever job description the HR has given, take out those 5 points out of those,
Pointers.
yeah, five
Yeah.
pointers from that JD, and spot on frame like that cover letter from the JD itself. That's gonna help you so much. uh, in very big celebrity
Yes,
wedding you can, yeah, I know that. But then you don't have to handle like 50 celebrities in one wedding, unless it's like Mukesh Ambani's daughter's wedding. So but then that's a
then you have
concert.
like 100 plus event managers. Don't you think Mukesh Ambani would have budget for that?
Yeah, but then that's a concert, not a wedding. And he might have hired Craft for that, the biggest event company in India. So
Makes
yeah.
sense. Piyush, can you share a glimpse of a cover letter, right? Like
Okay.
how looks like. Like if you can share a a demo,
Sample
a
cover
sample,
letter.
Yes,
sample.
simple. I don't think I have it right away in my laptop, but maybe I'll have to Google it only. But if I have few pointers, I can share that right now. So like I said that, like cover letter has to be a letter. So you are writing it to someone, so it has to address to someone. For example, either the HR or the founder or someone who's actually gonna read your letter. So if it's a startup, a small company, you can write it directly to the founder of the company. But if it's like, big company like MPL, Sumo Digital, probably founder is not gonna um, read your cover letter because he's not the one who's going to interview you right away. So then it should be addressed to the HR. But let's say if it's a small gaming studio that has just started, and the founder is very strong and has 20 years of AAA game experience, and you can then you can address it directly to the founder itself. So that is point number one. It has to be addressed to someone. And then like I said, one more thing is that you can directly um, add few pointers from the JD itself. So why you are relevant for that specific position, and what skill sets that are mentioned in job description align with your skill sets. So you can actually handpick those things and start mentioning about that. So Deeksha just shared a sample with me. I'm not sure how much.
I've shared a link basically wherein they've mentioned very clearly, what all things you should mention in a cover letter. So
Mhm.
basically, give a brief
Oh yeah.
introduction about yourself, about the company, the role that you have applied for, and then, telling them why you are suitable fit for the role, as, the things that Piyush mentioned. So these were a couple of samples that I was reviewing and found them quite helpful, that, would be good help for you guys if you're applying for a particular company and share your profiles along with the cover letter. So these can work out.
So, for example, cover letters are simply more about customization, right? How much customize can you do? Like, how much customization can you do? So, for example, here you can even add the desired
Hello.
position. Hello, is it me? No, it's not me.
Yeah,
No, you are
I
audible.
am sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
where did you guys miss me? There's some issue with my network. Yeah.
So I was saying that cover letter is more about customization. The more
Yeah.
you can customize it, the more it is gonna benefit you. For example, if you simply add the desired position, that will also help your interviewer understand how much time and effort have you taken out to get this thing done. For example, if they're hiring for a specific position, let's say Unity developer, or let's say game developer brackets Unreal. So it's or game developer brackets Unity, right? So both of these are same things. But if you are actually mentioning what position they have highlighted, they can, or what position they have rolled it out for, that will
Yeah.
simply help them understand that this thing is customized and directly coming for them. And then the name of the company is obvious, because if there are 50 companies you're applying, and if you have mentioned 50 different names, that is surely going to help you. And
Yeah.
mention job portal source, or in other words, if it's not the job portal source, like if it's not LinkedIn, you can also mention that you've got a direct referral from XYZ person who's currently working
Somebody.
as
Yeah.
this in your company. um,
It actually shows your keenness, right, for the particular company. Ki, हाँ, ठीक है, you have taken out time. Even though you have edited, we all HR cover letters are all edited, but at least you took out like even 5 minutes of your time to edit your cover letter to mention, the position, the role, the company, and all of that stuff. So
yeah.
it definitely gives you an edge over the other candidates. Definitely, if you have the relevant skills for that particular role.
Yep, and see, they have mentioned the manager's name here. So same thing. It should be addressing someone. So the person that you are
Yeah.
writing it to. And subject should never be cover letter. Fuck this. Never add a subject line as cover letter. This is not gonna make to the primary inbox. So make it more jazzy, make it more sassy, and make it more clickbaity. Because the more clickbaity this subject line is, like, don't abuse the person, obviously, but make it like, more clickbaity that the person cannot resist. For example, one example I can share is, um, hmm, okay, so it can be like a 2 years experienced developer seeking, yeah, 2 years experienced persons, 2 years 2 years in industry seeking dash position in your like in the company. So in like dash is the position that they have highlighted it, and dash, the second dash is the company that you are applying for. So then that clearly highlights, because when it comes to HR, they might be hiring for 5 new roles. Just say, for example, at Outscale we are a very small team right now, but right now we're still hiring for 3 job roles, right? So if Deeksha gets a email inside her inbox that that a event manager looking for a community manager role at Outscale, she'll probably click on it and open it very quickly, right? And she already knows that किस job role के लिए this mail has come, right? So that's
Yeah.
some ethics or some basic fundamentals of cold mailing. And we'll have to do another session for cold mailing thing, because then I'll have 200 more points to share with you guys. And cold mailing is one more sexy thing that we have to hunt jobs. And we can have a dedicated session for cold mailing, how cold mailing will help you to land job in your favorite game companies, in your dream companies. That is something uh, for another day. I guess that is it. I'm not gonna take your more time.
Mm.
The call got extended, and I am fucked because we have to do a lot of work right now, and we have a stand up at 7:30. So I'm technically fucked
Yeah,
because a
right.
lot of work is left for today. So guys will have to sign off, and end this call here. Thank you so much for joining again. And to your surprise, guys, because I can see a lot of game developers here. Just wait, I'll share the screen again. Give me a second. Where is Discord? Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Okay, I'll share
And
the.
I really hope, guys, the session was, I mean, insightful for you guys, and you gained something out of it, right? Spending like a lot of time with us. I hope that worked out well for you.
Yep. Yeah. We wish that it was actually beneficial. If it wasn't, okay, it's okay. So sorry for that. But yeah, if it was helpful, please like invite more friends on Discord. That's what I can say. Like leaving you guys with the CTA. But another CTA that I have here is that if seeing my screen, I am navigating right now in the event section, and we already have around 3 to 4 events planned for you guys in upcoming 2 to 3 weeks. Mm, two big events that I am very bullish about. One is this that we have with Ronan, and this is scheduled for 31st March. And he is currently, um, I guess, president of this app called Apps Flyer. This company called App Flyer. So he's president and managing director, someone who has like 20 to 30 years of experience, industry experience. Mayank is gonna interview him, and you guys are gonna 100% love this session. I've been running after this guy for almost 2 weeks, and then we got this event finally scheduled, and he gave me like 6 weeks later ka date. So it is scheduled for 31st March, and it was scheduled back in mid-February. So this is one good event that we are going to have, because this person has really really great experience in building and monetizing game studios in Asia Pacific region. So not only in India, but also countries like the other Asia Pacific countries, that are right now booming in the gaming industry. So this is one event that I'm really bullish about. The second event is we have game producer from Zynga coming in. Her name is Soumya Iyer, and you can search her and reach out to her on, connect with her on LinkedIn as well, because I mentioned the name intentionally. I'm not sure how many of you actually do that, but this is something that you should do. Whoever is coming in for the session, feel free to reach out to them on LinkedIn, and you can also add a like a note to them that, hey, love to connect with you and looking forward for the session that you have with Outscale. So that improves your chances of getting connected with them, right? So a lot of people don't understand how production in AAA companies work, or how what game producers actually do. So this is to actually break it down for you guys, where Soumya, who has experience in companies like Electronic Arts, GSN, now working in Zynga, so she'll walk you guys through the the whole journey of a game producer, or even like how you can build a career as a game producer, if someone is like 1 in 10 is interested to do that as well. But yeah, super hyped up for these events, and you will see more events coming up like these. So we are not gonna compromise with the quality of speakers that are coming in. So this is the kind of people that we are right now looking up for, like 10 to 15, 20 years of experience, and who have actually helped to shape up this gaming industry. So yeah, you're gonna see more events like these, and feel free to invite your friends and all, because if they are someone who's willing to explore the gaming industry right now, Outscale is the place to be. And yeah, I guess I don't have more things to add. Deeksha, anything else, or we'll call it call it off?
We can call it off. It's pretty much done from my end, guys. In case you have any questions, you can just feel free to, either comment in the event chat section, or just DM me so that I can help you guys out.
Cool, totally. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you again for joining in. It was a great session. We hope that you got some value out of the whole thing. And signing off. Bye bye.
All right, bye.